Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Shot 9 times with a knife in his hand. New video shows the moments leading up to the deadly police shooting of a Roseville school custodian. Investigators say that man had a 4-inch fish filleting blade and refused to drop it.
Frank Robles was shot and killed on Groesbeck near 12 Mile after he crashed head-on into a truck. Today, police gave an update on how it all played out and on the officers involved. Sean Lay was there, and he's with us now with more information on all of this. Sean?
And the video tells a lot more to this story, and the video is very clear. The officer asked the man standing in the street with the knife, "Are you okay?" We put a timer on the video. In 9 seconds, that officer begins firing 9 deadly shots.
We're also going to show how a routine traffic investigation, traffic crash, turned into a deadly situation.
The key question for this investigation: did this 5-year veteran of the Roseville Police Department fear for his life Tuesday morning when he ran up to a crash scene and spotted 57-year-old Frank Robles of Roseville holding a 4-inch knife used to fillet fish?
Hey, drop the knife.
The Macomb County Sheriff's Office is investigating and today released body camera footage from the officer who shot and killed Robles. The goal: to see if the officer's actions are in compliance with state and federal law. The facts: from the time the officer who fired those deadly shots asked Robles, "Are you good?
Are you good?"
And Robles taking a step towards him with that knife in his hand. We'll freeze the graphic video. And in 9 seconds, the officer tells Robles to drop the knife 2 times, and the officer opens fire 4 times.
Shots fired, shots fired.
Robles hits the ground, struggles to his knees, the officer firing 5 more shots into him. I asked the sheriff, what is police policy in this situation?
And let's just be honest, I mean, we have the luxury of reviewing this whole thing from our office. It's a whole different environment being out there and being confronted and having to make these type of decisions.
Our officers are trained. Tasers are not always reliable. They're just another piece of equipment that do malfunction. In the training we do provide them, a knife is a deadly force situation, and they're not trained to pull their taser. They're trained to go to their sidearm.
After those 9 shots and Robles in the street, you can hear the officer who fired those shots. He reloads his weapon and then says, "He came at me with a knife." The officer and another officer on scene, they are on paid leave during this independent investigation from the Macomb County Sheriff's Office. They will present the shooting, their investigation, to the prosecutor. They say that it will take about 2 weeks. Guys, back to you.
Yeah. Sean, anything from the Robles family on this today?
We had some contact with them yesterday. They were in shock, did not want to talk. Now the sheriff says they presented them with the video. They saw all of it. They're asking for privacy tonight.
Yeah. All right, Sean, we appreciate it. A 4-year-old boy is out of the hospital. He was shot while he slept when someone with an assault rifle fired into his family's home overnight.
Just awful here. This happened on Stout near 7 Mile and Evergreen on Detroit's west side. Megan Woods is live tonight. Megan, Detroit's police chief addressed the violence this afternoon.
He did, saying that there were 4 other children along with their mother inside of the home when this drive-by shooting happened. And the chief also made a point to say that even though this little boy is now okay, the violence, especially against some of the most vulnerable people in our community, has to stop.
This poor kid is just laying in bed. You can't even lie in your own bed in the middle of the night. And you have to deal with this. So, I mean, enough is enough.
It's around 3:30 in the morning, and neighbors hear this.
It's like rapid, like.
Detroit police say they found 4 bullet casings outside this home and determined the shots came from a high-powered assault rifle. One of those bullets hit a 4-year-old boy in the butt.
That's scary. That's really scary.
It's a sad situation. I feel sorry for the family.
One neighbor said a bullet hit his house, too.
They're at the top, at the very, very top. Like, it almost went upstairs to where I was sleeping at.
Neighbors are now puzzled as to why someone would do this, especially seeing all the toys and bikes on the lawns, a clear indication this street is filled with children.
Big kid neighborhood. That's why I'm like, this is something shocking to happen down here. We had a birthday party yesterday for my little nephew, so it's like a good 10 kids in there. So that's what made me wake up and try to see what was going on, make sure it wasn't too close.
With no information on a suspect or any video linked to this shooting, police are asking anyone who knows something to come forward.
And once again, we're talking about our babies. One of Detroit's babies that's been shot, sleeping in their bed, something that, you know, you want your kids to do to feel safe in their homes. This is unacceptable. We need the community's help.
Again, just a sad situation. We did reach out to the family and they didn't want to do an interview. And again, we've been saying this all day, but if you do know anything, have any information, contact Detroit Police. You can also call 1-800-SPEAK-UP and you can remain anonymous. Kimberly?
Okay, Megan, thanks. Well, Detroit police are also asking for help finding whomever shot an 81-year-old man as he tried to apologize. They're looking for persons of interest in these photos. Take a good look here. They say the 81-year-old was driving on Keeler near Asbury Park when he made a turn and nearly hit the two men walking in the street. Well, he went up to those two men to say he was sorry, and that's when they shot him in the hip. He's in temporary serious condition. A Detroit man convicted of crimes he did not commit is a free man tonight.
Terrence Calhoun chose not to speak this afternoon after the judge cleared his convictions. The 35-year-old was supposed to be released last Friday, but a judge put the case on hold after a Detroit police officer claimed the judge needed to look at the evidence again. Calhoun pleaded guilty to kidnapping and other charges in 2007 and was identified by two victims, but DNA evidence indicated the crimes were committed by another man. You'll see his emotional release from prison coming up tonight at 6. Police say a tip that a student had a gun at Allen Park High School was not credible today. The school went on lockdown for several hours and police did detain a student this afternoon in connection, but it's unknown if that person is still in custody. The state's COVID numbers reveal 14,482 new cases in the past 7 days. It's about 2,068 cases a day, and we have lost another 67 lives to the virus. For some insight into the increase in this week's numbers, let's bring in Dr. Frank McGeorge.
That's right. So, Doc, the daily average has almost tripled from the start of April. Is this something that people should be concerned about?
You know, Kim and Jason, I wouldn't say concerned, but people should definitely remain aware. You know, with the significantly increased transmissibility of BA2, we fully expect to see more cases. And frankly, with widely available home testing and largely asymptomatic cases, the numbers are certainly an undercount. Now, frankly, we are expecting to see a steady rise in cases into May, when we will ultimately hope there will be a turnaround. The more important number here is really the rate of hospitalizations. And although it is up slightly, it remains completely manageable. And even more importantly, there really hasn't been much of an increase in ICU admissions. And that speaks to the point that although the case counts are increasing, so far Omicron BA2 is not driving more serious illness.
Wow. Well, you know, Dr. Fauci was on TV yesterday. He was talking about how the U.S. has come out of the pandemic phase and transitioning now into the endemic phase. Is this current increase, is that consistent with what he's saying?
Well, yeah, it kind of is, you know, in the sense that we are seeing an increase in cases, but not a significant increase in hospitalizations, ICU admissions, or deaths. Ultimately, this is really where it's probably all headed. There's going to be a recurrent pattern or wave of infections without significantly increased severe illness. But, you know, just like with the flu, every so often a new variant or a strain, if you will, is going to come through and it's going to become a bigger problem. The idea that there is going to be zero COVID or that it's going to go away completely just is not realistic. Hopefully, with vaccinations, immunity after infection, and more widely available treatments when people are infected, it's hoped that future waves will remain manageable or essentially endemic.
Yeah, and we can live with it. Okay, Dr. McGeorge, we appreciate it. Well, we have a new reaction from the mother of a former Marine just released from a Russian prison.
30-year-old Trevor Reed is free tonight after almost 3 years behind bars in Russia. Police say he was arrested after attacking an officer there in Russia following a night of heavy drinking. His parents maintained his innocence. Russia let him go in exchange for the release of a convicted drug trafficker. Reed's mother can't wait to see him again.
Finally, after waiting all this time, I'm going to be able to hug my kid, you know, put my arms around him. You know, I had a little bit of a panic attack when he told me he was going to spend the whole summer in Russia. So 9 months, and then now it's been almost 1,000 days. So I'm just excited to see him.
Reed's parents are concerned about his health as well, but they've been told there is a doctor on the plane bringing him home.
Well, following the release of Reed, President Biden said his administration won't stop until people like Paul Whelan are back home. The Novi man is serving a 16-year prison sentence in Russia on spying charges. Whelan's brother David says he's happy for Reed's family, but fearful about what this means for Paul.
The concern we have is that, the U.S. had one opportunity to make a deal with Russia, and they made it, and they left Americans behind. And so is Paul now there for the rest of his sentence or a longer period of time? Or does the U.S. government actually have some plan to come up with another release, another concession? Because it's not clear to me what that would be.
Yeah, well, the Department of State isn't commenting on negotiations for Whelan's release or the WNBA's Brittany Griner.
We are just getting warmed up on a Wednesday.
Yeah, we are. Let's check in with Andrew.
And temperatures showing the opposite. Quite chilly or cold out there with temperatures that are in the 30s and 40s, nearly 15, 20, or 25 degrees below average. And they plummet tonight to near record cold territory. We'll talk more about that and your weekend forecast in minutes.
Whether you're looking to buy a home or rent an apartment here in Metro Detroit, prices are soaring and people are worried.
Yes, it's very expensive. Very, very expensive.
But there are ways you can still get a home and help. I'm Hank Winchester. I'll have that story coming up tonight.
There's a lot of rumors about what's to come of Twitter with Elon Musk taking over. I'm Evrod Kasumi. We are firing up the Trust Index to find out what's true and what's not.
Okay, Evrod, but first, a big bust in Oakland County getting drugs and guns off the streets. We'll have that next.